Hello, my name is Jessica Duncan, and in a short video, I want to talk about how regenerative food systems can help us to advance the Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm building on the introduction to the Handbook of Sustainable and Regenerative Food Systems. So, the Sustainable Development Goals, what are they? There are 17 of them, and they form part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This agenda was adopted by all members of the United Nations in 2015. They are basically a call to and for action for sustainable futures. And what's interesting and important from our perspective is that food systems, particularly sustainable food systems and regenerative food systems, potentially cut across all of the goals. So, what do we mean by regenerative? This is a concept that is emerging and remains very contested, and that's part of the reason why we wanted to write this book about it. Because in our book, we explore the social-ecological dynamics around regeneration and think about what it can mean to do food systems from a regenerative perspective. What does that mean for us? It means really moving beyond sustaining and creating effects for a mutually supportive symbiosis across food systems. And it's not just about the creation of these effects, but actually moving towards processes that give back and regenerate. So it's not about sustaining, it's about regenerating. When it comes to the first goal of ending poverty, a regenerative approach would necessitate the redistribution of financial flows. It means a radical change away from who profits in the food value chain. From our perspective and from the research that we have, we argue that this is fundamental to achieving the goal of no poverty. When it comes to goal 2, achieving zero hunger through sustainable agriculture, our argument is that taking a regenerative approach will open up new pathways to meet this goal. It expands our options and our imaginaries. It also ensures that solutions are grounded in local context, something that we feel is fundamental for achieving zero hunger. If we turn then to goal 11 for sustainable cities and communities, we see that cities are already leaders in food system transitions, especially sustainable food system transitions. But we feel like a regeneration framework can help them go farther. Regeneration helps them move towards integrated food policies by really integrating a systems approach. There's increasing evidence that these integrated food policies, this joining up across sectors and across stakeholders, is fundamental for creating frameworks that allow us to address the kinds of systemic problems that we face and the complicated problems that we face. When it comes to goal 13 on climate action, a regenerative framework limits greenhouse gas emissions, but it also recognizes that there will be different strategies, different mechanisms, and different priorities depending on ecoregion. It recognizes that democratic processes are needed to help make difficult decisions, and that there are contradictions across these decision-making spaces, and that these contradictions need to be made explicit. Those were some short reflections on how we believe that regenerative food systems can help to advance the Sustainable Development Goals. We cover all 17 goals in the introductory chapter to the Handbook of Sustainable and Regenerative Food Systems. We also advance a number of principles in that chapter that build on the contributions of all of the other chapters that make up this exciting new handbook. If you have any questions or want to get in touch, you can contact me at this email address.